before you invest your money into it. But what we are doing as a board to curtail this, first of all, is to ensure there is professionalism, so that the people we are registering, they are people we have tested and confirmed that they are capable of offering these services. We take them through a process, yeah? We even take them through an induction process. We take them through a training process, just to tell them this is how you need to prepare, even for you to offer a service in the industry. Then we're also looking at security of property, security of the sanctity of the title. We are aware as Kenyans that there are many titles out there, and I applaud the government for digitizing the titling program, because now you can go into the system and do a search, and it will confirm for you the necessary details on that property. So I would maybe just urge Kenyans, and even who are you dealing with, you can call our secretariat and they'll give you the details of the person you are dealing with. You can check on the website, because all the estate agents who are registered, we gazette them in the Kenya Gazette at the beginning of the year. So you are able to check even in the Kenya Gazette that the person that you are dealing with is a registered estate agent. You can check that information on our website. It is available. So let's not go into property deals blindly. Let us seek the necessary information. Let us engage the right persons.
I'm sure you know of situations whereby Kenyans, knowing or unknowingly, that there is such a body or there is such a board, they will contract an agent in an estate to get them a house. Maybe they want to move from this estate to the other, or maybe they want to move from this house to another house. And they'll go, we always have those agents who know where a good house is in a good estate, or such kind of information. Are these people supposed to be regulated and registered by you?
Precisely, all of them.
And how do I know that they are registered?
Anyone who is doing the business of estate agency in any form or manner, be it letting, facilitating a letting, facilitating a sale, doing property management, they must be registered with the board. And how you know they are registered or not?
Even the people that we use in the estates?
Yes.
They must
as
be
long as you're doing it for a fee. You know, if you are letting your own house, O'Brien, then I do not require you to be registered. If you are letting your own house, or if you are selling your own property, you are not required to be registered. But if you are selling a property, or letting a property, or managing a property on behalf of someone else for a fee, you earn a fee from that, then you're supposed to be registered. And by the way, if someone gives you such a service, you are not even obliged to pay them, and they cannot take you anywhere. Yeah. Even if they go to court, the court cannot enforce an illegal contract. So they will not be paid. And we have cases, even sales, people who have facilitated sale of big properties, and their commissions were running into millions of shillings, and the court said no.
There is no legal justification for your payment?
No, you cannot be paid for an illegal activity. You cannot ask the courts to enforce an illegal contract. And if you are not a registered estate agent, then what you are doing is an illegality. So then you cannot run to court and ask the court to facilitate your payment of your commission.
When you look at, Kenya as a country, and we have 47 counties, which counties are notorious, or which counties have the highest number of agents who are operating without the purview of the law?
I would just say it's urban areas, the cities and the towns, mostly because that is where most of the business is. If you want to do, most of the transactions happen actually in our towns and in our cities.
As a board, do you have the capacity to regulate or oversee or register or take enforcement measures for people who are practicing without certification in far-flung counties, like let's say Wajir County? Do you have the capacity?
I would say yes, because you see the capacity is not entirely with the board, because we work with other government agencies. We work with the police, we work with the public prosecution office. This is a government arm The Estate Agents Registration Board is an arm of government. And like I said, we work under the State Department of Housing and Urban Development. If someone cons you of your money, where do you go to? You go to the police, isn't it? So we work with the police, and we are working with the Office of the Public Prosecution. And like I said, right now we have a committee that comprises all these agencies. It comprises also the BRS, it comprises of the FRC, it comprises of the yeah, all of them. All the major government agencies, they're in that committee. And what we are looking at, how do we ensure that there is compliance and there is enforcement of the law? Because when you have an Estate Agents Act, it's a law, like any other law. When you break the law, then who prosecutes you? It's not the board. It's the Office of the Public Prosecution. Yes.
So your business is to report?
Our business is to report.
This person or agency?
Yes, and work with the agencies to ensure that there is compliance and there is enforcement. Of course, there is no entity that we can say is okay right now that we have all the resources. So we need beef up of resources, and that is what we are asking for. And like I said, we have a strategic plan where we have laid down all this. So we are working with even Treasury to help us and support some of our programs.
Through financing?
Yes, through financing.
What is your current financing head? You're fully funded by the Exchequer, right?
No, we are not fully funded by the Exchequer. Actually, we do not receive
You don't receive any funding from the Exchequer?
Yeah, we raise funds from our own activities and from our registration activities and other processes like training. Money is never enough, O'Brien. I don't think anyone, including KBC, can say right now that they are fully funded.
Enough to run your operations?
Yeah, we are looking for more funding. Yes.
Where are you looking this from? Is it from the Exchequer? Yeah,
from the Exchequer, from the ministry support, from our other development partners, like I said, I mentioned FAO. We are working with other.
If you were to receive what you'd classify as proper funding,
yes,
how would that change, and what changes will happen?
I think mostly we would, in the areas of registration, like I said, we are working towards, maybe I didn't mention, we have a committee that was appointed by the Permanent Secretary to spearhead the review of the Act and the finalization of those regulations that we have proposed. So that is where I would first of all put the funding, because you need the necessary legal tools to be able to conquer this monster in the industry. And like you rightfully say, our Act is a 1987 Act, so it's quite obsolete. We need to review and update the legislation that that governs this industry. Once that is done, then I would be asking for an expanded secretariat so that we can have all the departments and all the roles that are required to smoothly run an organization. If that is in place, I think we should be able to, and also working, maybe have a compliance arm. We can, if the government wishes, they can give us a few, they can give us maybe police officers and other enforcement officers to help us with the, with leading the industry of the quacks who are working without registration. But if I got the funding that I needed right now, or if the board got the funding that we needed right now, the first
right now, how much do you need?
The first, it's quite. We need. How much was that? 1.2 billion in the next several years. 1.2
billion.
Yeah, in the next 5 years. Yeah,
is what you need to bring sanity into the industry.
Yes.
And how much do you?
But I think it will be protecting much more. It will be protecting much more, because the last year in 2024, I think I was looking at the Kenya Bureau of Standards statistics. The real estate industry invested 400 and close to 500 billion. Yes.
You just need a portion of this.
A very small portion.
A small portion of this.
Yeah.
Let us get to hear this from you. I mean, when was the last review of the Act? You said, I mean, the Act came into force back in 1987. That's when the board was set up. There was some mild reviews was it in 2012?
2012, I think it's just because you are reviewing every other act, because of the of the new constitution.
Promulgation of the constitution.
Of the new constitution. So those were minor amendments here and there. The last review, of course, there was also a minor amendment this year in line with the Pocamla laws. There was an omnibus that touched on several other laws, especially for those entities that are supervisory bodies. Yeah, so there was a minor adjustment this year. And actually that's when the penalties were raised from, I think, 200,000 that was there before.
It actually used to be 20,000.
Some ridiculous amount anyway. Yeah.
20,000 or 2 years in prison?
Yes.
Or both?
No, I think, yeah, some ridiculous penalties there and imprisonment terms. But that hasn't been reviewed to what I mentioned before, 5 million.
So you're talking about 5
million for individuals and
10
million for companies. Yeah.
Have you seen any positive reaction because of the review of the penalties?
I think we need some bit of publicity around that subject because I don't think it has quite hit Kenyans what they are dealing with.
Are you undertaking that publicity?
Yes, we are undertaking that publicity. Yeah.
You talked about being given powers, to have your own enforcement agent officers. And we know there are some government agencies who, because of the role that they play in socio-economic development of Kenya, they are provided with such, and one of them is Kenya Revenue Authority.
Right.
And there is a linkage between you performing well and Kenya Revenue Authority making or collecting more taxes.
Precisely.
Because Kenya Revenue Authority has been very aggressive in trying to prosecute people who are in the real estate industry and they are not paying taxes. How are you working with the Kenya Revenue Authority to ensure that you go well in regulating the industry?
We are working very well with KRA. And in one of the ways is the motor agency team that I mentioned before, because KRA are also part of that. And actually they have helped us, give us a lot of data on the situation on the ground in terms of the people who are operating without registration. And also, you see, most of our registered members also manage, some of them manage properties. And if you're talking about properties, you're talking about, you can mention it, any form of property, both commercial, residential, industrial. The big malls in this town, they are managed by estate agents. The big buildings in this town are managed by estate agents. So we work very closely, and our members also help in doing the returns for the landlords and managing the tax element of management of buildings. So I would say a well-regulated real estate industry would help in raising our taxes from the sector. Yeah.
If the government was to elevate the profile of ERB, which government agency would you want to get? Would you aspire, or do you aspire to get to? Like, which government agency you would say is your gold standard?
Maybe like Kenha.
Kenha.
Oh no! Look, I think it needs to be elevated to an authority.
An authority.
Yeah, to an authority, so it is able to capture all the sub-sectors in the real estate sector. Because, like I said, the board regulates practitioners in estate agency and property management. Basically, real estate agents. But you have other players who are not regulated currently. So you have, and you have like developers. You know of cases of maybe Saiton and others who have put up properties, sold off plan, and maybe faced some headwinds, and they are not able to complete the developments, and investors have suffered. So how do you regulate the sale of property and protect the consumer or the purchasers of off-plan, for example? We need someone who can come in and regulate that that sector. And I think like South Korea, they are doing that very well. They have an authority that handles that. and they're able to work with the developers to ensure that the proposed developments are finalized and the consumers are protected. I think also in South Africa, they have an arm of the government and the director of the housing or something that also protects consumers. Yeah, so I think we need to look at consumer protection also as an extension of this regulation. And the real estate sector, of course, is also very wide, like we said. You have the professionals, you have the developers, you have the consumers, you have other players in the industry who play different roles. So all these arms, if you looked at the total extent of the sector, then probably an authority will be the better approach.
An authority. So you'd really want to get to a regulatory status like the National Construction Authority.
Yes.
Where they can move into a site and stop. Or where you can move into a building and stop the operations of these based on the fact that the agency managing this building is not registered.
Yes, yes.
So what are the penalties for people engaging non-registered agencies and non-registered individuals?
O'Brien, I don't think we have a law that covers that. Correct.
Isn't that a loophole?
Yeah, it is a loophole. Actually, someone asked me one of these days what confidence they would have, because you see, you almost need to be able to label like a building and say this property is properly managed, so that if you're investing in that property as a tenant, even as a tenant, you are coming in to take up space as a tenant, then you know that this property, because it's being managed by so and so, there's a level of expectation in terms of services that you can do from that building, isn't it? Or the kind of services that you're likely to receive from that building. So that also building owners and property owners are encouraged to engage with the right people. The right people who are trained in the industry, who are trained in the sector, who have the requisite competencies, and they can be able to offer the service. Otherwise now, you just go to the village, pick your relative, bring them, put them in, call them a caretaker. But that caretaker play a very crucial role, because they are the ones who manages the building and ensures that the systems run in that building.
Caretakers are supposed to be registered by you?
Yes.
Wow.
But who is your regular caretaker? Maybe someone who left school, maybe someone, in most cases, the kind of caretakers, or the image you have of a caretaker is not very...
So who should register caretakers? Is it the owner of the property, or it is upon the caretaker to ensure that they are registered? Whose business is it?
I think the business is for the person who is offering the service. And the person who is offering the service is the caretaker or the property manager who employs the caretaker. Yeah, but in some instances you find there is a loophole, there is no property manager. But the consumer should ensure that they are employing somebody who is qualified and someone who is registered, isn't it?
But let's face it and be realistic. I mean, when you look at the real estate industry in Kenya, I mean, when you look at the number of buildings that we have and the number of caretakers we have, is it really possible for the board to enforce their registration?
I think one of the things that is going to force that also is the kind of trends that we have in the real estate sector. Because our buildings are becoming more and more complicated, isn't it? Our buildings are becoming intelligent buildings. They are being run on AI, and they are being run on tech systems. They are being run, they are building systems that are automated. So I don't think it will be feasible anymore or for long for you to continue engaging people who are not qualified. And I think now with the qualifications also come registration, because then you want our role as a board is to ensure that the competency of the people who are operating as estate agents is also of high standard. So you look at the trends currently, even in marketing. Before you had to go and visit the properties physically for you to choose a property. But currently, you don't need to move from where you're sitting. On your phone, you can be able to select the kind of property you need, because there's the kind of systems we have will give you a 3D, they can give you a virtual tour of the property, they will give you a very good image of the kind of property that you're looking at. So you can review 10 or more properties right from your phone, and you're able to make a selection. So it is changing, the property market is changing. There's also the current rules like the Section of Properties Act, that is also, you know, you have to engage properly, you have to have a management company to run an estate. There's also laws to do with the data, the way you handle data. So all that requires a high level of expertise. So actually my urge to Kenyans is that if you have ambition to practice as an estate agent, we have institutions in our country that are training estate agents. You can go to the universities, you can get a diploma, you can get a degree certificate, so that you are properly equipped. Because you don't want to go out into the market and mislead your customers, yeah, on issues with the planning. You're misleading them on issues of development. You're misleading them on issues with the, you know, even on things to do with what we just talked about, revenue collection, an issue to do with taxes. You need someone who is highly trained to be able to advise, you know, our customers or your customers in all those areas. And the training is available. Real estate training is available. University of Nairobi, they're offering training. Jomo Kenyatta, they're offering training. Kenyatta University are offering training. MKU are offering training in real estate. We have over 400 graduates coming out every year. 400? Yes, with degrees in real estate. So let's embrace professionalism also as a society, so that when you're engaging someone, you engage someone who is competent to offer you the service that you're seeking. If you are sick, you don't want to go to a quack doctor. You want to go to a professional doctor, a doctor who is certified to treat patients. And so why do you want to invest a property in your millions of shillings? And most of the properties nowadays, I think there are very few that you can buy with below $1 million shillings. Most properties, even 50 by 100 plots, it's above $1 million. So why do you want to invest your hard-earned money by engaging someone who is not a professional or someone who is not registered? What if they don't treat you well, like we said, or if there is malpractice, what fallback do you have? Because when you bring them to us and they are not registered, we have to report them to the police. If they are registered with us, we take disciplinary procedures or proceedings against these people. And because they are registered, they don't want to lose their certificate. They don't want to lose their registration. The other person has nothing to lose. If they mess in one sector, they are selling properties today, tomorrow they can go and sell cows, or they sell something else. They are brokers. They can sell anything. You know, so why do you want to engage with someone who is not trained and skilled in your area of investment?
Help Kenyans understand things. I mean, if the agency that is managing the buildings where they stay are not registered or is not registered, what should they do, and why should it be their business to report this?
Because this is their interest. Because if you, some of the complaints that we receive at the board is people who have, sometimes you paid a deposit to an agent, you want to leave the house, you can go get your deposit back. Yeah, because they don't have the ethics. The ethical practices are poor, you know, they are unethical. All, as a landlord, you bought an apartment, you have a block of apartments, or you have your house, you have entrusted it to someone who is not registered. This person collects your rent from your tenants and they keep it. They don't remit it to you. Yeah.
Is it legal to...
And then they come running to us that I engaged this agent, they collected rent, they have not remitted to us. You see, so those are most of the complaints hinges around financial transactions and just those unethical practices.
By the way, is it legal for tenants to pay the so-called deposit? electricity deposit, water deposit, garbage collection deposit, security deposit, when you are entering or when you are about to, move into a new house?
Yes.
Do you regulate that?
As a board, we don't regulate entirely your contract between an estate agent and their principal or their client, because you see what you put in there. But there are laws that regulate tenancy agreements. We have the Land Act, we have the Land Registration Act. They regulate those kind of contracts, and also they have the agency laws that that oversee the registration of leases. We have several laws that relates to the landlords and tenants. And what I would say, it's not mandatory. It's not mandatory for you to pay a deposit. It's what we agree between us two. It is my house, you want to come in as a tenant. What kind of an agreement do we have? It is not illegal either to ask for a deposit, because the landlord wants to shield and cushion themselves against, in case the tenant does not perform in rent payments. And we know sometimes they don't perform because of different reasons. So it's I can't say it's illegal. It is not illegal, but it's not mandatory.
But it's not mandatory.
Yeah, if I wanted to give you my house or my property as a tenant without a deposit, it's not illegal.
Help Kenyans understand things. I mean, I wanted to move to your property.
Yeah.
There was an agreement that I have to give a 3-month deposit for electricity, for water, for tenancy, and for all the other things. And then when I want to move out of your house and relocate to another place or move to another house, then you tell me I'm not going to give you a deposit because I'm going to use this money to repaint the house, to fix little broken things and so much. Who is the arbitrator in this if there is a dispute? Should Kenyans come to you, or where should they seek redress?
First of all, I think if you're a tenant, you're moving into a property, and it's good that you read through the contract.
The contract.
Yeah, read through the contract and have read through all the clauses so that you understand. Because the administration of that contract is really between you and your landlord. If when you're coming into a property, because I've also been a practitioner for many years, if I give a tenant a property, we want to record the status of that property at the time that the tenant comes in. So let the tenants ensure that that is recorded properly. Because if I give you a property that is newly painted, I give you a property where all the fittings, the plumbing, the electricals are all working properly, then it is expected of you when you are leaving that you return that property in the same status as you found it. And that is not unreasonable because you are the one who is using it. So if the toilet is broken, then you'll be required to replace that fitting. If the electrical has a problem, you'll be expected to reinstate it to the original status, how you found it. So the deposit that the landlords take is to cushion them against some of those things. Maybe unpaid rent, and also against maybe things that are broken in the house at the time that the tenant leaves. And I think most of the landlords will give you an option to repair, to do the repairs, do the painting, reinstate the property to the original status, how you found it. Once that is done, then you receive your deposit. If there is a problem in that and you suspect that there is an ethical practice or a breach in the code of conduct by this estate agent, you can come to us. Yeah. Otherwise, you see, most of the contracts are also, if there is an issue, you can go to court, because our courts are also available to. And
there is also the rent tribunal.
Yeah, there's a rent tribunal, but for a certain protected property, for commercial properties, if your lease is below 5 years or up to 5 years, that's a protected tenancy. So if there is any dispute to do with that, you can take that to the land tribunal.
Very well.
Yeah.
And of course, the other thing is that if as a tenant you entered into an agreement with an agent or agency that is not registered by the board,
yeah,
then a contract is illegal,
yeah,
to start with.
Yes.
So it is up to the landlord and the tenant to ensure that the contract that they are entering into meets all the legal thresholds as laid out by the law.
Precisely. And I can also mention that now that you're here, that the board has initiated the process of listing all the real estate companies. We did that launch in October, and the forms are available in our website. We are doing publicity around that, where we are asking all the companies, all that are operating as estate agents, to register with the board. That is going to help a lot, because when you are engaging the services of estate agency, most often than not, you are engaging a company, not the individual. Whereas the board has been registering individuals, they operate or they work under entities. So what we have asking all the entities, all the companies that are operating the business of estate agency, property management, sales and letting, to register with the board. So then it's going to become very easy moving forward. When you want to engage with someone, you just need to log into our website and you confirm this company, because it's registered with the board or not. Because some of the things that we'll be looking at is that the directors of these companies are compliant with the law. So then you stand a better chance of engaging with this person who is compliant.
And there are certain requirements for anybody to meet for you to be a director in that agency.
Yes.
Very well.
Yes.
Eunice, in the interest of time, I think this is a conversation that we need to continue sometimes in the future, because it's receiving a lot of interest from Kenyans.
Right.
From where I'm seated, I'm seeing a lot of reactions.
Right.
What are your final thoughts on this issue, and how do we move from here?
My final thoughts on these issues is first of all, this matter of real estate agency, it has two phases. First of all is the government phase, the regulatory phase, where we are saying as a board we are doing everything that we can, and we are working towards improving our operations and improving our structures and improving our legal tools to be able to regulate this industry properly. We are also looking at the other side of the consumer, and we are saying if you are engaging in the services of estate agency, make sure that you are engaging with the right people. And then we are also appealing to the people who are out there practicing as estate agents without registration to register with the board, and also to skill and upskill themselves so that they're able to offer the services in a professional manner. And of course, I would also say that the world is moving, and there are new trends that are coming in the market. We have Airbnb that has moved in. We have sectional properties. Most of the properties that are being put up in and around our cities are multi-story. That fall under the purview of the Sectional Properties Act. So the agents also who are registered and those who are practicing needs to upskill themselves with the new trends.
Very good.
Yes.
Madam Chair, thank you very much indeed for joining us on Inside Government. I know there is still so much that we need to discuss, but of course our time is never enough on TV. We'll definitely call you again sometimes in the future so that you can continue to enlighten Kenyans on the role of the board and of course their responsibility in streamlining this industry. Your time is highly appreciated. Thank you very much. We'll be happy to help. Thank you very much. I mean, we've been talking to Eunice Macharia, the chairperson of the Estate Agents Registration Board, helping us understand what is the board is doing to streamline the industry, which is a critical cog in Kenya's socio-economic development. You have heard from her. My name is O'Brien Kimani. Thank you very much for watching Inside Government. Have yourself a good afternoon.